Hi everyone, welcome back to Amber the Baker. We are back with another one. First of all, thanks for being so patient with my little hiatus. We were dealing with some stuff at home, but we are back and we are ready to go. And in celebration of being back and ready to go, we've got a good one today. So we've normally been seeing a lot of like breads and stuff in my past recipes. Well, today we are going chocolate. Today we are going to make a molten lava cake. Normally people think these are incredibly difficult. They're actually not. If they were incredibly difficult, they wouldn't be sold at Domino's. So let's get started. Okay, so as we all know, before we get started, we need our apron because I make a mess of everything. And as per tradition here on this channel, I have written out my recipe just so that it's in front of me and good to go. All right, now we're gonna start with our prep work and our ingredients. For our ingredients today, you are going to need 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. I use dark chocolate because I have a different kind of sweet tooth. You will need 4 tablespoons of salted butter for this recipe. I use Irish cream butter. It's the best butter for baking. It's the best butter for everything, and it's worth the price tag. We will also be needing a 1/4 cup of sugar, regular white sugar, 1 large egg, and 1 egg yolk, just to help with the moisture in there a little bit more. Teaspoon of vanilla extract. We will need salt. We will need flour. And we will need, of course, espresso powder. Espresso powder brings out the flavor in your chocolate. You will never taste the espresso powder unless you put a ton of it in. So if you want a chocolate coffee cake, go nuts. But it helps bring out the chocolate and it helps cut the sweetness down just a little bit. The caffeine cooks out if you're caffeine sensitive like my husband, and it just tastes really good. Okay, so that's it, really. Then you'll just need a couple of ramekins, powdered sugar for dusting, spray to spray your ramekins, and a bowl, measuring cup, whisk. And you're good to go. So let's start our prep. So for our prep, I am going to bring our butter out here and our chocolate. Now you're supposed to chop your chocolate. It just makes it easier for melting. You can melt it on the stove if you'd like. Or you can easily just use a microwave. I mean, it really doesn't matter. The better chocolate you have, the better tasting wise this molten cake is going to be. It is a chocolate molten cake. So the kind of chocolate you pick in this recipe is going to be massive. It's not like it's a chocolate chip cookie where you can mask it with a good batter, right? Or a good dough, right? You are making a chocolate flavored chocolate star dish. So you can chop your chocolate or you can just break it up like I do. I find that when you chop chocolate, you leave a lot on the cutting board and it's annoying to clean and it just feels kind of wasteful. So I just easily just break it up. It's easier. It's getting melted anyway, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. Now, when you're tempering your chocolate, melting it, right, in a microwave, 20-second intervals, please. Do not burn your chocolate. Do not undermelt your chocolate. We want this until it's just smooth. So that's where we are going to start. 20 seconds at a time. Now, I like to multitask because the cool thing about molten lava cakes is they don't take very long. Mine's going to take longer, obviously, because we're doing a video, but it doesn't take that long. So, first and foremost, that's going to bug me. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, there's our 20 seconds first intervals. And I'm going to kind of show you. You can see how our butter is melting and our chocolate is slightly softened, but it's not in its melting stages yet. So we're going to hit it with another 20. Right. And while we're doing that, we're going to get our 1/4 cup of sugar ready. What is going on here? Quarter cup of sugar in a bowl. You can use any kind of a bowl you want. I like to use glass bowls because you guys can see what's in it a lot better. Quarter cup of sugar in. I'm going to keep my sugar out because we're going to use it again. So I'm going to set it off to the side. There goes our chocolate. So here you can kind of see that the butter is warming up and it's starting to melt the chocolate. So that is when we are going to get my little pastry spatula and we're just going to stir it up a little bit. And you can see as you stir it up, the chocolate starts melting a little bit more, right? And you can see how loose and thin it is from the butter as well. So we are going to put it back in for another quick 20. Do time cook on your microwave, please. Don't just do the minute setting because I've done the minute setting before and you walk away to do something else and use the full minute's gone past and your chocolate is ruined. So just put it on for the 20 seconds. Pop an egg in that bowl and then we're going to go ahead and do our yolk. That doesn't have to be stirred right away after the 20 seconds. It can sit a little bit. Just give yourself enough time for you to yolk your egg. I just do it the messy way because it's the easiest. Over the sink, crack your egg, put your yolk back and forth just to get rid of those whites, and then boom, right in the bowl. All right. I'm going to turn the sink on. It's going to be a water noise. Keep it clean. All right. Now chocolate, my instincts say it's done. Oh, and it is just about there. All right. So here's where you have a little bit of chocolate left in there, just a couple of chunks, right? But it's hot enough to where it's going to do the rest of its melting on its own while I do the talking. Now, if you're going to go straight into your next step, put it in for another 10 seconds and it'll be good, or just stir it up until it's melted because it is all gone now. So our chocolate's ready. So we're going to set it off to the side while we whisk together these eggs and the sugar. Now, we've got a full egg in there and we've got a yolk in there. We want to mix this up until it becomes pale and nice and light and fluffy. That means everything is fully incorporated. It's going to be a little thick, a little fluffy, but you want those eggs to be pale looking. Okay, now when you do a whisk, you can pull out your automated mixer, but honestly for lava cakes, just by hand is the easiest. Okay. And it's all in the wrist work and it should look like that. Nice and pale, thick, right? That's good. That's what you want. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our vanilla and our salt. So for our vanilla and our salt, it's a teaspoon of vanilla extract. But honestly, pour until the ancestors say stop. There we go. It's probably a little bit over a teaspoon there. I like a stronger vanilla, especially because it helps just cut the chocolate a little, and that's cool. And then you need 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So get 1/8 of a teaspoon in there. It's literally just a pinch. If you're newer to baking, I would really recommend you measure these things out until you get a little bit more skilled to be able to just eyeball it. Okay, and then you're going to get that fully incorporated in there. And that's going to slightly thin it out, very slightly. All right, good. That's what we want. Now we're going to fold in our flour. Okay. The cool thing about this is with our flour, we want to mix until just combined because this isn't a traditional cake, right? It's a molten lava cake. We want the outsides to be strong and the middle to be ooey gooey, yummy, yummy. So 3 tablespoons of flour will be enough to build those outward gluten spines, right? And you could. So I'm not going to mix that in quite yet. I'm going to make sure we put our chocolate in now. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get this chocolate in here. Ooh, there it goes. Obviously get as much of this as you can because this is your shining star. This is the reason you're making the cake right here. Okay. Then I'm going to chuck this guy in the sink. We're going to get our big boy out. Not a fan of wasting things, that's for sure. Okay. There you have it. Good. And we're going to use this spatula so you can kind of just like leave it here in the bowl. Now, mix, mix, mix. Nice and lightly, right? We don't want to go too hard in the paint. And then once you see your chocolate's mostly on the outside, we're going to, your flour's caked on the outside, we're going to ditch our whisk and we're going to start to scrape and fold. Scrape and fold. We want all of our flour to be just combined because we don't want to over mix this because then you will have a full cake and your molten will not come out. So we want to make sure it's just mixed enough. Ooh, that's looking good. Okay, mix, mix, mix. Now, once that's all smooth and delightful, we are going to set it to the side. We're going to get our ramekins ready. Now, the number one reason that molten lava cake scares people off, especially newer bakers, is because the horror stories you see on the internet of simply it sticks to the mold when it comes out of the oven. That ain't it. So I'm going to preheat my oven to 425 like I should have done earlier, but mistakes have been made. Okay. While I just make sure that this is finished. So you see how it looks like almost like a brownie batter? That's what you're looking for. So once it looks like that, we're going to stop mixing it and set it to the side. We're going to get our ramekins ready. I'm going to get a paper plate because I'm going to make a mess. I know it. Okay, so plate, ramekins. You're going to spray them first and foremost. People think, oh, if I spray it, it won't stick. That's fake news. If you spray it, it still can stick. What the trick is you then coat it in sugar. Okay? You're going to coat it in sugar, and this is going to be a big difference. The measurement doesn't matter. Just put some sugar in there, like that, and then just like you would any other, right? We're going to just pop it in these molds and shake it all around. That's why there's a paper plate. Just showing you guys this stuff gets messy. And then all the way around so it looks nice and like that. You got the oil and the sugar in there. That's a ready ramekin. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with our other one. Just dancing it around. Oops. Okay. Then we can easily just pop the sugar back in if we need some more. Right, a little bit more. Dance it around again. You're looking for that nice, sparkly, sugary, oil-coated ramekin. Okay. Clean up a little bit. I like to clean as I go because I hate having to clean after I bake. It just sucks. You get the dopamine of like this beautiful, sweet little treat that you created and that you get to eat and yummy, yummy, yummy. And then you have a big mess. So take care of the big mess as you go so that it stays a little mess. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit, oh my scissors are in here, teaspoon of espresso powder in here. That's enough. Get that mixed in. Mix, mix, mix. Cut that chocolate down a little bit. That's going to make it so delicious. Bring that flavor out. Dense chocolatey flavor out. Ooh, that's going to be so good. Molten lava cakes, they're supposed to be rich. They're supposed to be chocolatey. They are supposed to do the most. Let them be what they were born to be. No one said baking was good for you, ever. And no one ever will, okay? But these are for those days where you're just like, I need something chocolatey and I need it in under an hour. This has got you. So we are going to go ahead, once our espresso powder's in there, pop these guys evenly into our little ramekins, right? Boop, 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 boop. There they go. Ooh, those look so yummy. Whoop. My counter is going to suffer, but that's okay. A lot of like doing these baking videos is to just kind of show you how much fun it is, how easy it is, how yummy it is, and how messy it is. Baking is not for people who are afraid of dishes. I'm just going to say it. And that's just kind of the beauty of the beast, right? Not everything is going to be perfectly the way we want it to be. But doing that work is fine. I have mini ramekins, so I'm just cramming these full. And that's the other part of baking. It's the realities of there's mistakes. Not everything's going to be perfect. You may be a professional, but you're not above making mistakes. And we are about showing the beauty in those mistakes on this channel. I'm going to shake them a little bit. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And those are beautiful. And those we're just going to pop right into the oven once it's good. The only thing you'll need now is just powdered sugar for dusting, if that's your thing. Some people do ice cream, powdered sugar. Some people do berries and fruits and stuff. I just like to keep it classically powdered sugar. 10 to 12 minutes on your 425. Depending on your elevation in your oven, it's always going to be different. So we're going to pop these suckers right in here. Right on that middle rack. Okay, good. Ooh. Good. All right. Now 12 minutes. Perfect. So now we can do our dishes, right? This is the time to do it. My oven's missing its grates because they're getting cleaned up. We're doing a kitchen reset here while I have some extra time. So, and in doing that, I said, hey, let's make a quick video while we're getting the house cleaned up and put together, because that's another thing about baking, right, is there's no time restraint to it. It's not breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can make it when you have time. Now, molten lava cakes are best served when you're ready to eat them, but it's okay if you have to stick them in the fridge and reheat them later or whatever. That's life, that happens. I'm going to be eating mine right away. And saving the second one for a little bit later. Clean the sugar out of these. Yep. Nice and cleaned up. So I will see you guys back here in about 10 minutes so that we can see our final product. So, all right, so we waited our 10 minutes in the oven here. So now we just need to see if they're ready. I have my toothpicks at hand. Now we are only toothpicking the edges because you still want that middle to be jiggly, but you want the outside to be clean, right? So that toothpick comes out, that's ready. Put this one here. Oh yeah, that's also ready. That cake is good. Our outside texture is strong. So we're gonna leave these for 1 minute, maybe 2, just kind of depending. But oh yeah, those are nice and warm. In the meantime, go ahead and get yourself however much powdered sugar you want. I just put half a tablespoon in, just good for the dusting portion of it. Get yourself a plate ready, and I keep these on a wire rack so I don't, hurt my counters or anything, but they're starting to cool off a little bit. That's mainly why we're waiting, so that you can handle your ramekins so that they're not super hot. In the meantime, we got everything cleaned up. Everything looks good in the kitchen. Turn your oven off. Don't forget. Ooh, that looks perfect. All right, so use tongs if it's still too hot. That's what I did. Yours is going to come out, if you have standard ramekins, a lot shorter and a little wider. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. You can see that sugar crust on the bottom, which just helped it come out a lot cleaner so that it did not stick. Now, if you try to take them out too early, it's gonna look like this and it's gonna be a mess. Okay? This is what's gonna happen if you do not wait 1 to 5 minutes. Look at that. Because it's still cooking and it's still setting, and that's what we do not want. That is your example of an absolute catastrophe, and this is the beauty that beholds us. I'm just going to clean up this plate a little bit and get the stragglers off. Now this is where your chocolate is your star. So here I'm going to go ahead and just dust. Make it look all nice and beautiful, and some powdered sugar. Awesome. Cut this off here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your final product. Here we have a molten lava cake. It is best to serve it immediately. Here we go. Ooh. Oh yeah, ooey gooey, yum. Ooey gooey in there. Look at that. Oh yeah, that is delicious. Especially dark chocolate for me, a little bit more bitter. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we make a molten lava cake. Ladies and gentlemen, is our molten lava cake. Thank you so much for tuning in to Amber the Baker. Have a great day and happy baking.